Hey girl, hey, let me ask you a question. Are you the auntie that was athletic, whether you played baseball, basketball, softball, gymnastics, or were you always out in nature? Maybe you were a tomboy. Or on the other spectrum, maybe you were a feminist. You were concerned for like women and young people, and you did not really need a man because you were very independent and competent. You loved to live alone. You liked to vacation alone. But as a kid, you may have been a problem. Were you always the kid that was always jumping and leaping and rolling around and running around and you got told to sit down a lot? Go sit down somewhere? Were you naturally competitive and you had a will to win? You were probably a Girl Scout or wanted to be one. Super independent, love to explore. You like to go hiking and camping. And even though you're getting older, you still have strong legs and an energetic, athletic body. It's the physical, the life force energy that you love because you're the wild one. As an Artemis woman, you have to be personally fulfilled. Whether it's your creative energy, whether you're having a vision, or whether you're in a business, you have to have whatever you're doing to be personally fulfilling to you. So if you have a business, there's a product, it has to mean something to you. You're not just selling a product to sell a product. Or if you're trying to be creative, you had a vision and you want to see that vision through because it's important to you. You worry about people who are underrepresented. It's like you fight for the underdog. You fight for the underdog. But it has to be something that you believe in order for it to be successful. Even non-traditional. You probably have a lot of non-traditional ideas. And you love your sister friends. You love being around your sister friends, whether it's at work or your community or at church, your spirituality, whatever it is, you love being amongst women of like mind. You love to network, you love to mentor, and you consider these sister friend relationships very important. In your sexuality, you probably considered sex like a recreational sport. And relationships are probably secondary to you because of your sister friends, your involvement, your creative pursuits, your career and activities. They come first. You're considered like almost androgynous. You even have a sense of sexual coolness or aloofness about you. Now, when it comes to men, as an Artemis woman, you do not want a man who is weak, dependent, and lacks confidence. Because you are the total opposite of that. You have great inner strength, you're independent, self-reliant, and you will see men like that as undesirable and unmanly. And you don't want a mama's boy. You don't want someone that's constantly up underneath you all the time. Someone who's clingy, where you going, what you're doing, where you at, why you wearing that. You don't want any of that. You want a man that's going to give you a lot of physical and mental space. And your love language is probably acts of service. You want your partner to take out the trash, take the car to get an oil change, mow the lawn, paint, fix stuff around the house, do the landscaping, shovel the snow, rake the leaves, fix the gate, walk the dog. Acts of service. Basically fix stuff. You want him to take the groceries in the house out of the car. You probably want someone who you want to go on vacation with and do a lot of fun things with. So you want your partner to be your best friend who you just happen to be in a relationship with. You need someone who can respect and admire your strong personality and your love of the great outdoors, however you see yourself being in the great outdoors. And if you're married, you probably didn't take his last name. Or if you're thinking about getting married, you probably won't take their last name. Because you want a true partnership and not necessarily all that patriarchal submission. Now, when it comes to children, you're probably a good mother, or you may want children and you will be a good mother, like a mother bear. But you probably look forward to the children when they're way more independent and not so needy and dependent on you. So let's talk about the later years. As you become middle-aged and in your elder years, you become a little bit more self-reflective in a psychological and spiritual kind of way. Although you still have your youthful qualities that are present. So you still might, see your strong legs underneath your dress, or your arms are still strong, and, your body doesn't ache as much. You can still take long walks. You still probably ride your bike. You walk the dog really, really far. So you still hold on to these qualities. But guess what? If you are living in an urban or even a suburban environment, you are out of place. If you've been living in an urban or suburban environment pretty much your entire life, now is the time, as a middle-aged woman getting ready to be an elder, is the time to consider moving out into the country or a rural area. Consider moving out into the country or a rural area, because if you feel depressed or you feel like a misfit among the urban and suburban environments, that's because you are physically out of place. And you need to be connected to the earth and the more natural realms. Because like I said before, you're the wild one. You need to be out amongst the grass and the trees. And I know a lot of us don't like the bugs and the animals and whatnot, but technically that is your natural environment. Because if you think about it, you as a little girl, I bet you spent a lot of times outside, whether it's playing rope or hide and seek or on your bike, or even if you had an animal, you walked your animal a lot, or if you had a horse, you played soccer, whatever it is, you are outside a lot. And that's what you need to reconnect to. That whole natural Mother Earth aspect within your personality. Or if you don't want to live out in a rural area or in the country, maybe you could connect nature through another way. Maybe you can become like a midwife or a person who works with herbs, study herbology, become a conservationist, maybe like a dog walking service, something that connects you to animals and plant life, the elements, something that connects you to that birth, death, the cycles of life. You need to be really deeply into that. There are a lot of displaced Artemis women living unhappily in urban and suburban areas. So what does it look like when an Artemis woman is suppressed? One, she's depressed. She needs to be challenged. You need to be challenged and involved with like stuff that personally resonates. And if you don't, you lose your vigor for life. You lose that energy of life that you're so connected to within the natural world. So 2, causing others to suffer rather than yourself with rage and anger and mercilessness. Okay? You could be on a warpath, and that's against men and women. And you must realize what your behaviors and your words, the effect that they have on others. And you must be able to confront that destructive force before it consumes everything around you, and basically learn how to be a little bit more humble. 3, feeling alienated. A lot of Artemis women, they fear being outcasts to the fringes of society because you like your freedom and because you like your independence. It's hard for you to conform to societal norms. And sometimes you probably feel offended and have a lot of contempt for a society that doesn't recognize your unique talents, gifts, and skills that you bring as a woman and as a fierce spirit. 4, emotionally distant. Sometimes you could probably be so focused on what you want, what you're trying to accomplish, your creative pursuits, your visions, you representing the underdog, that you fail to notice the people around you, what they need, what they want, what they're saying. And you need to become more consciously aware to take into account what the people around you want and need. You have to be more consciously aware of how your behaviors affect others. So how do you grow? You need to grow by integrating your more underdeveloped aspects, like your less conscious, receptive, relationship-oriented side. And that is integrating more Aphrodite in your life. We'll get to that later. Your opposite characteristic on the goddess wheel is Athena, which represents civilization. You're Artemis, you represent nature. But for you to really grow, you need to get more in touch with your body and receiving, being more conscious of your behaviors, becoming more vulnerable. Learn to love and care about other people. So in midlife, the achievements for you become less important, and having a relationship, whether it's with your children, with a man, or with a woman, will give way to a more transformative experience in your life. And this is how you grow. This is how you get back in touch with that Artemis self. So who are some of the Artemis goddesses in pop culture? We have Neytiri from Avatar. We have Arya Stark from the Game of Thrones. We have Ashoka from Star Wars. We have Katniss Everdeen from the Hunger Games. We have Ripley, Sigourney Weaver's character in Aliens. And last but not least, the most famous Artemis archetype is Diana of Themyscira, also known as Wonder Woman. So I hope you got something out of this episode 1 of this new series, how to connect with the Artemis archetype in your life. If you resonated with any of this, if you recognized yourself in any of this, tell me down below how you are planning to refamiliarize yourself with these aspects in your life. Tell me down below, how do you think you lost these aspects of your life? And remember that you have all the goddesses within your psyche. We're going to go through all 7 of them. This is the first one. And you have a secondary goddess and you have a primary. So your primary, if you resonate with this material, would be Artemis. Okay, so in order to heal, you need to add more Aphrodite. But your sister, opposite on the goddess wheel, is Athena, which is civilization. So you have a little bit of all those goddesses, but your passive one is Aphrodite. And I will go more into Aphrodite. She'll have her own series, and then you can listen to that and get clues on how to integrate Aphrodite into your life. All right, so tell me what you think down below. Please comment, leave me some comments about what you think about the Artemis in your life. Give me a thumbs up. And until next time, I'm going to try to do another one with the next couple of days. So I'll try to do 2 a week before Christmas. Sorry it took so long to upload this now, but I'm in school. I'm getting my master's degree in counseling. So we were preparing for finals. I had a residency. This is not an excuse. I'm just letting you guys know where I'm at. So until next time, bye.